When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers!
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Requires new line. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 480p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
I am Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is OBS Job Search Advice Radio, episode 1122. Yes, 1122. And today's show is focused on a statistic that I saw on Workopolis a while ago, that 2% of all applications result on an interview, or in an interview, I should say, and the question becomes, what can you do to improve the odds? I do hope you find the show helpful. I hope you connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. And if you're interested in me doing one-on-one coaching with you, listen to the end of the show. There's information there about how to reach out to me for coaching. Now, let's get going. I host Job Search Radio and OBS Job Search Advice Radio, and I coach people because, frankly, I learned a long time ago that the skills needed to find a job are different but complement the skills needed to do a job. So I try to share a lot of information that's designed to help job hunters. And, I do a lot of reading, generally web-based stuff, because I'm curious. And there was an article that someone pointed me to that was being shared at South by Southwest. And the article was entitled, 6 Shocking Job Search Statistics That Will Surprise You. And none of the main 6 did. So I'll just simply state them to get it for the record. Only 4% of recruiters don't use social media in hiring. LinkedIn is the number one social network for recruiters. Recruiters spend 6 seconds reading a resume. 50% of candidates are considering a new job in 2016, and more than half of companies are Googling candidates. 90% of job seekers use mobile. Okay, this is pretty predictable stuff. But there was one thing that he threw in at the end that kind of got my attention, and it makes sense as well. And that is only 2% of candidates receive a job interview. Translated, 90% of job seekers are unqualified for the role that they're applying for. So it begs the question, what can be done differently? Well, first of all, let me just say, why that happens is you find it so easy to apply. Most job hunters go, what the heck? Submit a resume. And you're not going to get an interview because you've done nothing to tailor your resume to demonstrate how you would fit. And from an employer's perspective, they don't want to know that you want to do the job. They want to know that you're qualified to do the job. And unless you put that together for them, they're not going to bite. So you wind up being rejected and wondering, hey, I didn't hear from them. Well, there was a reason for it. So here's a couple of very simple suggestions for what you can do to get more responses. And the first one is only apply for jobs you're actually qualified for. Now, this should go without saying, but when you read a job description, there's a section that says qualifications. Look at your resume. Do you demonstrate those qualifications easily in your resume, or are you expecting someone to read between the lines? If you expect them to do the latter, they're not going to do it. They're just too busy. You have to give them a document that is pre-chewed, pre-digested, and easy to spot how your background fits the role. Got it? So if that means tailoring your resume to pull that stuff to the surface, you do it. You use the message area of your email in order to demonstrate the fit. So if they have a list of qualifications, you lay it out in the left-hand column, and in the right-hand column, you might list how long and how recently you've done it. But it all starts off with only applying for jobs that you're actually qualified for. Next, talk about how you stand out on the job. What makes you different in some way, and obviously in a good way? And do it in a way that an employer is going to go, okay, that's interesting. There's one more that has a quirky title. Apply to the job that you're applying to. Now, I shook my head when I read that, and I'll give credit to Workopolis for this article that's entitled, Why Only 2% of Applicants Actually Get Interviews. I'm going to add something on top of what they've written, but what they say is it goes back to what they mentioned earlier about people using one generic resume to apply for numerous jobs. If the job title on your resume doesn't match the job that you're applying to, there's little chance you're going to make it into the top 2%. Similarly, even if you have the qualifications for the job, if your career objective doesn't match the role, you're unlikely to be hired for it. It gives the impression that you'd be a bad fit for the job. Makes perfect sense to me. So you want to make sure that your resume shows, in title, structure, and language, how you fit the role. Now, I want to add something else and say, applying for a job is not ideal. What you are better off doing always is networking to a hiring manager. And I say that even though firms always tell you apply through our applicant tracking system. I say it because when you swim in an ocean with lots of fish in one hook, everyone is trying to leap onto the hook and get caught, right? Thus, applying for a job is like being in that lake or ocean with a lot of fish going for a hook. When you're contacting a hiring manager directly, when you're contacting someone on the team directly and say, who's the manager that you report to who's involved with hiring for this role? What you're doing is cutting the line and getting to the front of the line and saying, I don't want to play with the other fish. I want you to get I want my attention. I want your attention on me, and asking them to review you directly without all these filters of the applicant tracking system, parsing software, artificial intelligence, which certainly does seem artificial, doesn't it? So those are the basic ways that you can improve. And I'll simply say that, if you want to be one of the 2%, be prepared to answer the question, not just simply of tell me about yourself, but tell me about yourself that makes you different from all the other people that they're going to see. That's my bonus for you. Tell me about the work that you do and what makes you different in a good way from all the other people they're going to talk with. Hope you found this helpful. Again, I'm Jay. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, here are a few ways to engage with me. First of all, I just want to start by saying that I no longer do recruiting. I coach people to perform at a high level. So again, I no longer do recruiting. But if you visit my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and look at the tabs on the top, you'll see a menu of choices available to you. First of all, you can hire me to do a resume and or LinkedIn profile critique, interview preparation, help you with a salary negotiation, answer your questions about your job search, advise you about a decision you have to make about a job offer. Those are all there as an option. I can do a job search makeover with you, where we critique everything you've been doing in your search up until that point and come up with alternatives. If you're relatively early in your search, we can do a complete coaching program where I work with you from beginning to end in half-hour increments so it doesn't have to take a lot of time for each session. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love hearing from folks who like it and are interested in my help. Again, linkedin.com/IN/thebiggamehunter. You can take my classes on Skillshare too and become a premium member for 99 cents for the first few months. I have a link in the show notes. Just follow that link, sign up, take my classes. Lastly, I want to mention to you, you can find a lot of information at thebiggamehunter.us, and at times it may seem like it's too much. So you can look at the best of my material at jobsearchcoachinghq.com, where I've curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. Again, that's jobsearchcoachinghq.com. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers!
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Requires new line. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 480p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Panera now delivers, so you can order good, clean food right to your office, or door, or porch, or backyard, or front yard, or apartment, or dorm, or castle, or shop, or worksite, or wherever Panera delivers. For lunch, dinner, and everywhere in between. Click the banner to order or visit PaneraBread.com. Participating locations only. Panera. Food as it should be.